Good afternoon, everyone. First and foremost, thanks very much for watching my videos that I've done so far. I really appreciate that. It's not many views, but then I'm not kind of after many views. I'm not after clicks or anything like that. I just like people to maybe perhaps follow my process towards lung transplantation, and the information that I give out maybe is helpful to you. If not, then it doesn't matter. But that was the whole idea, is to give you some information of what I'm going through, so that if you're about to start going through the same processes, you'll have some sort of idea of what to go through yourself. Just a little video today, because just have to let you know that I had an appointment through for a lung function test. Another one. I've had countless ones already anyway. And I've only had one a couple of months ago. So I wonder why I had one so early. But I do know that I have to have a certain blood test. And I knew that was coming up because it needs to have the results of that in order to fill in the sheet for going on to the lung transplant system. It's not to go on the lung transplant list, it's to go on to the system. Two separate things. The list comes after, as my disease progresses. So part of this requires a certain blood test. Now I went up to Dorchester again, expecting my lung function test, and Naomi, my favourite nurse that does the lung function tests, she called me in. Imogen came over as well and says, "I haven't got you." So I went, "Oh, okay." But I hasten to add, I forgot to read the bottom of the letter, and because I see lung function test, I see the date, I know what I got to do because I've done it so often. But underneath all that writing was something else about the blood test, which I hasten to add I wasn't aware of until later. Anyway, Naomi took me into this room and she says, "You've got to have the blood test." And this is what I've been expecting from Dr. Phillips anyway, because he said that's what I got to have done. But this blood test is not a standard blood test that you would get at your doctor's surgery, where they got the visible veins in your arm, which they look for, and they tap them and either put a little tourniquet on the top to get them to build up so they can see them to insert the needle. This one was actually an arterial blood test. So there's a small artery in your wrist, and that is where they need to take the blood from, not the venous areas which are visible to the eye. So the needle was quite long, but very thin and very sharp, as most needles are. So Naomi said she's going to conduct the procedure, but she's only done a couple of them herself, so she needs somebody to oversee her doing it. So Chris, the lead physiologist, came in, who I know from basically when I first started doing lung function tests. He was my first one I met. So he came in. He's such a nice bloke. Both of them brilliant. Chris, absolutely delightful, funny, smiling all the time. So he explained the procedure and things like that. And Naomi was going to do the procedure itself. And I said to her, "Don't worry, I've got a high threshold of pain, that's fine. If you need to poke and prod, help yourself, don't worry about me, I'll be fine." Just to try and put her mind at rest. But she's done it a few times before anyway. So in goes the needle into my wrist, the inner wrist. And there was a little bit of jiggery-pokery trying to find the artery inside, because obviously you can't visually see it. You've got to poke around for it. And it didn't take too long. And of course, she found the artery, and a tiny little bit of blood came out into a syringe with a needle on it. Only a small amount. It didn't suck anything out. Nothing went into a tube like they do at a normal blood test. It was just a small amount. They removed the needle. I put a a little bit of wadding on there and told to press it because it was obviously a deep hole going into my wrist. And then they moved the needle from the syringe and they inserted like a little tiny capsule with a filter in it. And they squirted the blood that's in the syringe into the little tiny capsule. Then this capsule went into the other room and they stuck it in a machine. And 5 minutes later or so, they come back with the results. It all comes out on a readout. It's kind of like an alcoholic blood test, I guess, when you go to the police station and refuse to give a wee sample and stuff like that. I don't know, I never done it. So the results came back really quick. And they were searching for a couple of things. They were searching for the CO2 concentration in your blood. They were searching for the pH of the blood as well. And they were searching for the glucose level. Chris did say, "Have you eaten anything today?" And I said, "Oh, why?" He goes, "Well, your glucose levels is down. Not critically down, but they're down." And I said, "Well, I don't normally eat during the daytime anyway. I might have a couple of biscuits around about 10 o'clock, but that's about it. I normally have a dinner in the evening. Always been like that." He said, "Oh, no worries. I just wondered why it was down." Anyway, there's a few other things that they needed to take from those results, and they went to Dr. Phillips, who needs to fill in the form. He needs to fill in the form first, and then he's got to go online, and it takes about an hour, he said, to complete this document online to send to Papworth Hospital transplant team. So there's only two things I've got to get now. Blood tests for the common things you get for going on holiday. I forget what they're called now, it's off the top of my head. Yellow fever and things like that. I think it's just simple blood test. So that's a standard blood test. I was supposed to have a blood test with all that done last week, but I got up to the local surgery, drove into the car park, and he phoned me up and said, "No, we've got to cancel it today." So unfortunately, I could have had everything done by that time, but it is what it is, and I got my appointment in March, sometime in March. Anyway, so the needle went in quite deep. I don't know if you can actually see it. I'm just not whining about it, but it went in around about that area there. And there's a tiny bit of bruising, but nothing drastic. Yes, it is painful. It was okay for me because, as I said, I got high threshold of pain. But for those who don't like needles, it is a bit of a probably a bit of an issue for you. But it's got to be done, and that's the way I look at it. It's got to be done. You do it. Get on with it. I'm nearly finished my pulmonary rehab classes now, and as I said before, they've been absolutely brilliant. Charlotte and Lisa, and occasionally Jo when she covers for Lisa when she's not available. They've all been absolutely brilliant, and I've really enjoyed it. I'm on a Facebook group called IPF UK support group, and a lot of people are asking about pulmonary rehab, and now I'm in a good position to give them my experience and really recommend to do it. So if you do get a chance to do pulmonary rehab, please go and do it. It is great. It is great for you. It's good fun. It's a good social thing. And you learn quite a lot. So, well, highly recommend. 6-week course, two days a week. And then you can continue doing these exercises on your own, or they put you in touch with other places you can go to, like gyms and stuff like that, to carry on your exercises. But you can do all the exercises at home. The only things you probably couldn't do very well, catch my breath, is the weight aspect. Large tins of beans, probably not heavy enough for you, or certainly not for me, to do your weights exercises. But I've asked to do the weights after my pulmonary rehab finishes because of my osteoporosis due to steroid use. I want to try and strengthen up my bones, and the way to do that is by weights and that. I'm not trying to lift, you know, humongous weights. You know, not like 50 kilo each or whatever. No, I'm just it's just toning up my muscles, make my bones work a bit more than they usually do. So they need to strengthen themselves up, because, as I said before, osteoporosis is one of the factors they don't give you a lung transplant. So that's why I want to do the weights. Anyway, that's where we are at the moment. Just a little update for you. Just to recap, pulmonary rehab, please do it. It's well worth it. Absolutely. And the big needle, the arterial blood test, it's a big needle, but it needs to be done. As simple as that. I'm a little bit puffed out because I've talking without stopping for breath. I tend to do that. That's more nerves than probably my lung problem. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Have a good rest of the day. Breathe easy. Thanks very much.